Good morning, friends. Welcome. Welcome. It's Big Dano Paints. We're going to paint fun stuff. And we're going to talk about many things, many and varied things, but the number one topic on all of my minds, on my mind, on everyone's mind right now, is the Crimson Brush. The painting event that we had last weekend, 7 days away now. It is. That's quite a number of days. Feels like just yesterday. Of course, a lot has happened since then. I drove all the way back from Canberra to Brisbane. I edited together 8 million photos. Edited together 19 different videos. You know, just normal stuff. We're just normal men. But it's been a wild time. I know Sammy was watching some of the streams at home. I hope they were an enjoyable experience for you. But I'll give you, I guess, a brief rundown of... cool. I'll give you a brief rundown of what that weekend looks like for me. And then reflect on what I think the event did well and what I think the event failed on. So we had a lot of ambitious plans this year. When I say we, the event is mostly driven by myself in terms of determining what needs to be done, and then I have a couple of people who assist me in that. The main ones being Ben with all of the digital assets, Jim with the website. Hello Match Fixer. Hello Frog Jim. Bunny put together some bits and pieces. Bucks put together the stream schedule, but it's mostly me that makes things all line up together and determine what needs to be done, what direction we're going to sail in, etc. So there's a fair amount of legwork in the lead up to the event in determining, the rules pack and all that sort of stuff. But it's really Ben who does all of the hard work, I'd say. I just have to buy some things and get things ready. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Hey, Top. But once we get to the weekend, hopefully I haven't forgotten everything. Everything's organised and paid for and ready to go. And it was, which is nice. My weekend starts on the Wednesday. So the event runs from Friday through Sunday. However, it starts for me on the Wednesday because I drive from Brisbane to Canberra. If you're not familiar with that, it's 1,200 kilometres. It's a 14-hour drive, roughly. Now, I could fly. Absolutely, I could fly. However, for me to be able to do the stream, we need to have all of the gear. and I can't very well fly with my computer and all of my gear. G'day KT Luhu. So yeah, that day starts at 4:30 a.m. I drive to pick up one of my mates, and we go from Brisbane to Canberra. It's not a difficult drive. It's very easy drive, but it's just long. So we get to Canberra in an Airbnb. The following day is setup day. So hopefully most people have a bit of an idea of what the venue looks like, the event looks like from the videos, but it's not a massive space, and every year we try and innovate how we're going to use that space in a way that gets us the most bang for buck. So this year I think was my best year ever in terms of that. I really felt like we had a good use of the space. We were able to minimise the stream sounds, and really made the space work for us, which is awesome. But that takes about probably 3 hours to set up everything: tables, chairs, partition, computer, stream setup, etc. Benny and Bucks both arrived that day, usually after driving from Melbourne, which for both of them takes about 8 hours. So that's where we, what colour do we want to do the jacket? Let's go magenta. When Benny and Bucks arrived, they set up the lights and the shelves, which are contributed by them. And once that's all done, finally, we close up the doors and the real work starts the next day. So I get one day on the weekend where I kick back, play board games with my friends, muck around, etc. And that day is Friday after the setup's finished. So I do a couple of airport runs that day. Other mates that I was staying with arrived from Brisbane. Those lucky dogs got to fly, so I picked them up from the airport. But that was it. We pretty much play games and hang out that day. Then the Friday, the first day of the Crimson Brush, it's a long day. I get to the venue at about 7:30, and then we are having people enter in the doors from about 8:15. Technically, the rules pack says doors open at 9, but people are just excited and they rock up. And they come in the doors and they're excited and they're ready to enter their models, and nothing's set up yet because it doesn't start till 9. People are just ready to go. So we had a couple of people this year assisting, which is the first time I've had this happen, on administration and taking model entry, and that pretty much goes on until the following Saturday. And it's not super busy the whole time, but there's periods where it's crazy, and the first day, first hour or two, there's a lot of people there. So we knocked over that for the first few hours, and then I go and set up the stream and do an introduction, and then we pretty much spend the whole first day just trying to stay afloat, make sure everything's ticking along, make sure everyone knows what they're doing. Which was good. Again, very few problems this Crimson Brush, everything went quite smoothly. The stream seemed to have been well received. I'll get your thoughts on that later, friends. Um, but yeah, overall, first day stream setup, piece of cake. Second day judging, that goes for about 6 hours. That's a big day. Again, still starting at 7:30. The doors don't close until 6. I usually don't leave till 6:30. So it's a huge day for me, all 3 days. We do the judging, then we do the presentation ceremony, and then I get the joy of packing everything up, driving more people to the airport, before I get to relax that night before driving for 14 hours to get home. It's a big weekend. It's a very big weekend. But I do feel like everything this year went really well from a perspective of organisation anyway. We had smooth sailing from most people in registration. Model visibility was improved over previous years, or people's ability to see the models. I have barely recovered, and my actual week, my actual convention experience didn't really finish until 2 days ago, because I drove home 14 hours, got home, and then spent the next day editing videos and editing photos. To put them up on the internet for people like you. That may have sounded like I didn't enjoy that experience. I do. And this might sound funny, but editing the photos is actually the first experience I get to look at the models. I didn't really get to look at most of the models on the weekend. But it's time for me to share my feelings, my experience. It was a great time. We had a lot of laughs. I feel like we really delivered on our mission statement, which I shared in the presentation ceremony, which is to be the best display painting competition in Australia, the premier painting competition in Australia, that also builds the community. Get it, Timbo? So I felt like we did that. Felt like that was achieved. I'm sure there are many people that were at the con that are watching today. Or people who are watching at home. So yeah, my main questions for you all: what did you enjoy? What did you not enjoy? What could we improve? Any ideas or things that you'd like to see? Thank you, mate. Yeah, I think we did a really. I was really proud of the streams this year. You know, the first year I did it, we didn't really have a lot of structure. We just put some videos together, turned the camera on, and had a bit of a chat, me and Bucks, which is fun. Previous year we tried a bit harder, but again, we learned some lessons about how the weekend works and what we can spend our time on. And this year I feel like we really nailed it. That's good feedback, Top. Our plan for next year, as you know, we have the second room now. And so we will have the judging done in a room with limited noise. Well, less noise. There'll still be noise, unfortunately, because we're not going to close the doors of the event at that time. G'day All Might. G'day Captain Carp. Look, at that time you were timed out. We didn't have the second room, and prior to this year, every year I've gone down to have a chat to the organisers and say, hey, can I have a second room? And every year it's been no. Unfortunately, we can't give you that. It's used for other purposes. And this year I went down to talk to them, and they said, yeah, you can have it. You can have it this year if you want. And I nearly fell off my chair that I was sitting on. No, I think I'm not really sure actually what happened this year, what changed, other than maybe the event, or that what they were using it for. They no longer required it for that. I'm not sure, but this is the first year I've ever, and it wasn't even a difficult conversation either. I was just like, any chance we can have that second room for the fucking 5th year in a row? And they were like, yeah, you can have it. So I was like, great. Nothing wrong with walking around barefoot, mate. It's hot. Gotta let those nugs breathe. Well, I was just saying before, thanks Nurgle, I was just saying before, I don't really get sadly, I don't really get an opportunity to look at many of the models on the weekend. I would like to. And even during the judging, which I sort of stand around and add very little value, there's not really much time for me to look at models. I'm usually just focusing on ferrying them back and forth, taking them to the right spot, that kind of thing. So I didn't really get much of a chance to look at the models until I started editing the photos. And yeah, I didn't even talk about the photos, but fuck me, Dave crushed the photos this year. They are unbelievable. We did miss some, unfortunately, which we do find ourselves doing every year, and we're trying to optimize that process so we don't miss next year any, but that's a tough ask. It's a lot of photos, a lot of models, and the very best plan lasts until contact with the enemy. And that was what we found this year. We had a plan to get photos started on the first day and we were unable to do that, so we just move on. We learn from it. It was a nice weekend actually, and I think everyone went out for drinks or something on Saturday night, which is a bit of a tradition now. The photos are, mate. Yes, they were uploaded 2 days ago, which is when I started feeling like my time was done and I could experience some joy in my life again. Yeah, Dave's done a great job with the photos. He has done every year, but this year I think he did an even better job. I haven't seen really. I think I saw one or two photos that were slightly blurry, and everything else was just absolute bangers. So it's nice. It's nice to have quality of that for everything. It's because you're looking on the wrong place, mate. It's not the crystal brush. It's the crimson brush. Sure did, mate. Sure did. Gave the invisible ink a crack already. I'll show you. Actually, I can't show you because I'll grab it out later. The models, I've put it away in a cabinet. Because I've put everything together and I don't have any more room in my cupboard. It's crazy. Oh, you're going to Will's class. Cool. How's the first day? Good? Hope so. Good. Another thing you're fucking welcome for, mate. If we're fortunate enough to be blessed by Bucks's presence tomorrow night, we'll probably go through and do a model review. We'll look through the models from Masters and Standard and have a chat about them. Yeah, she got 4 arms. She's a legend. So I might show off a couple of other models that I've done. Well, started anyway. Nothing's done on this project yet. Except the base is pretty close. I feel like the base is pretty close to finished. I have a few areas to refine and then some varnishes to apply, but the base is mostly done. which I might add is a very exciting feeling. So let's show off. I've done this girl. Well, again, nothing's finished. And then and I've also done this girl. Boo, 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 boo. So yes, no one's finished. Nothing's finished. But we're making headway. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 models with paint on them. Yeah, there's some funny entries. Creative stuff. Next year we're going to have an entry which is called the Dave Colwell Tough on Toughs Award. Which is a little pun based on the judging when he was just criticising everything for not painting their tufts. It was this year's brass rods. Yeah. The Dirty Paint Water In now has a Tufts channel. Alright, here's what I need to know, friends. Here's what I need to know. This is the important stuff that I haven't got a lot of feedback about yet. What did we think, and by we, I mean you, what did you think of Stream's Choice? Did you participate? If so, what did you enjoy? What did you not enjoy? Basically, yes. Natalia was excited about brass rods. I had a piece of feedback on the actual video for Stream's Choice, which was that we joked too much about work health and safety standards, and we didn't talk about the models enough. Which was good feedback to hear. However, I do think it's much more difficult to avoid biases or influence the decision yeah, it was a conscious choice from me. The masters judges, the same people that selected most creative, also picked out 10 models for us for Stream's Choice. That's good. That's good, Nurgle. Thank you. Yeah, some great entries were selected, and it was really cool to see a standard piece win and not a masters piece. And again, we didn't specify which category was which, as we were showcasing the models intentionally, and we didn't actually speak about the models at all intentionally, but we just explained what they were. G'day, Yab. Billy Approve, hiya. G'day, El Solo. I'm sure Billy Approve is meant to be a emote, but it doesn't come up under my thing. Thank you, Frog Jim. Yeah, streams. Thank you, mate. It is a huge effort. I appreciate that. Yeah, Stream's Choice is an interesting one. I wanted to try something new. I wanted to try and involve people that weren't at the event, and we advertised it on our schedule, but maybe we didn't do enough of a job promoting that in the lead up and, pumping people up about how cool that would be. Okay, Damon, thanks, buddy. To have people decide a medal winner at the event. And look, here's the original Cliff Notes version of what we were planning on doing. But as I said earlier, the best plan lasts until contact with the enemy. We were going to have all the photos up by Saturday night, and we were going to upload them to a thing that was going to allow us to do people to vote and choose their best from all of the entries. We're going to take the top 10 voted on pieces, and we were going to showcase those. That was our original plan, or my original plan. Unfortunately, we didn't get the photos started until late. G'day, Tui. Which meant that we were unable to follow that process, so we instead use our master's entrance to pick our best 10, and then we pop those on the stream. I think the actual component of when we showed the models on Stream's Choice was fun and good. Again, the feedback that I got on the actual video was that we didn't talk about the models enough. We didn't want to influence the decision about which one would win. We just wanted to present the models and allow them to be voted on. Good feedback. Yes, another thing. However, that was something I decided to do on the day. And so next year we'll have an actual graphic for the, or an overlay for the stream for the awards ceremony, where we'll be able to show the model and still have the person on screen. I would hope too that and it's a really good observation that the event has to come first and not the stream, which is why I don't host. My focus is on the event and making sure that everything runs smoothly on the day, and I have someone else runs the stream, which is Bucks. So that's absolutely my number one priority, is making sure that the event goes off smoothly. And not concern myself with the stream now. You'll often see me in the stream, usually in the background, just fucking doing things. Yeah. Hey, I'm open to any feedback at all. When it comes to painting figures, when it comes to life in general, one of the best skills you can ever have is receiving feedback. Critical, negative, positive, whatever feedback it is. And if the overwhelming consensus is that the stream does not provide value for the majority of people, then we'll remove it. It's a significant amount of effort for me. And if people don't think that's of value, then we'll biff it in a heartbeat. The event is for the community, not for me, not an ego trip for me. G'day, foolish monk. Yab, did you come and talk to me? Did you come and say, hey, Deno, it's Yab? Bucks and I were saying we had so many people that were there on the weekend that like said hello, but then didn't say, "Oh, I'm from fucking stream." If you're one of those people, then fuck you, guy. We want to be able to shake people's hand and say thanks for coming on the stream and hanging out and having fun. Come on, Damon, you can do it, mate. Come along. Everyone's very friendly except for me. Um, yeah, Tui, it's as I said, one of the best skills you can learn is about receiving feedback, being able to do so graciously, with an open mind. But there's a big caveat to that. I think there's learning, um, learning how to receive feedback, and then being able to judge when to take on board feedback and when to trust your own instincts and trust your own gut. So, um, and it applies to both models, um, painting models, knowing when to go, yeah, that's good feedback and implement it, and when to go, yeah, it's an interesting perspective, but that doesn't quite align with what I'm trying to achieve, so I'm going to proceed with what I was doing. Well, that's because your dioramas and my dioramas are different. Yours are intended to be good. Mine are intended to be excessive. Look, there's a saying I love. The older I get, the more I realise how much I have left to learn. And when it comes to the little toy soldier painting world, that is very, very much true. Every 5 years ago, I used to think I was pretty good at this miniature painting gig. And now I realise how very far away I am from where I'm capable of, and question whether I'll actually ever achieve it. Good feedback from everyone about the stream. Feels like most people look. Most people are going to say the stream was good, right? um, but it's just a matter of if it adds value to the actual event. And I'll give you a little rundown of some of my plans for next year and what we're thinking of doing, or what I'm thinking of doing. So first of all, we've got access to the second room now, which is a huge deal for the event. It's been something I've been working towards for a long time. Finally achieved it at the moment, unless things change. So that's really wonderful. Our event was, yeah, that was quite funny. Our event was, in some ways, always going to be capped on what we were of doing based on the scale of the event. So the first thing we're doing in the second room is going to be entirely used for the Painters Lounge. So that whole room will be dedicated to Painters Lounge, which will mean we'll probably be able to sell, I would think, 60 tickets to the Painters Lounge, maybe. And being in the Painters Lounge, ticket will potentially, again, this is all speculation at the moment, entitle you to participating in some painting demonstrations or classes in that room. So the lounge ticket may increase slightly in cost, but will come with some additional stuff. Those events aren't mandatory, but they're just for people who's in that room. Yep, that is correct, Tui. The second thing that we'll have in that Painters Lounge is a projector, which will go up against the wall, broadcasting the stream. One of the pieces of feedback we got, which I thought was interesting, was we weren't able to provide a space for people to watch the stream as it was being done. So that's cool. So we'll try and broadcast the stream live on the projector to allow people to watch it, see what's being talked about. And yeah, so that'll allow us to have the main room for those people who are at the event to be purely dedicated to painting, the figures, and the traders and the streams. So that will give us more room for the stream. It'll also reduce the ambient noise for the stream, and will allow us to increase the amount of space we have for models. Which I would say potentially we may need next year. Potentially. Nobody in the room was watching that. Only people on stream got the benefit of that. Now the advantage of us doing that is people that were at the event can go back and watch it later, right? So it's literally available for everyone to watch right now. A painting demonstration with Dave Colwell. What a great experience. But no one in the room could watch that live. So yeah, so our plan for next year, second room, full Painters Lounge, classes in that room, in-person classes in that room, available only to people at the event. And that's something that, as I was reflecting on, I want to include more, is things that are only available for people at the event. You know? The last thing we want to do the last thing I want to do. This has all been my ideas so far. We haven't had our catch up yet where we review everything. The last thing I want to do is involve the guilds a little bit more, and I want to do like a speed painting competition or different events in the Painters Lounge run by the guilds. So the guilds will be responsible for managing that Painters Lounge room. So that's my ideas. How much of it we'll get to implement, don't know. That's what I'd like to do. We'll probably do a little bit of airbrush on the legs. Just a tiny little amount. Pretty sure that is French for airbrush. Dame and I stream 2 times a week, pretty consistently. Sometimes I don't stream, but most of the time I'm pretty consistent. First one is Sunday mornings, which is a good time for my American friends like Topulus and Emily to catch me live. And that's usually from about 7:30 my time on a Sunday morning. So I don't know where you're based, but it's now 8:13 a.m. where I am. And then the second stream is on a Monday night, so tomorrow night, usually about 6:37 p.m. On a Monday. And I'm usually joined by my painting accomplice, second half of Saturation Generation, Andrew Buckley. And every so often I'll pop and do another stream at another time. So this is indeed from Nico Galaxy. It's going to join the diorama of Nico Galaxy models. All 9 of them. Yeah, we'll do some white last of all, but I'll do some other stuff first. Do you know what? So I have regrets. I was sitting there yesterday morning and I saw they went up for sale, and I went and looked at them and I was like, I think I'm going to buy these. And then I thought about, I've talked a little bit about my job prospects on the stream, but it's very likely later on in the year I won't have a job, which after 20 years is a unusual thing to be contemplating. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I just don't think I can justify it. It's $800 plus shipping. It's a lot of money. I'm not going to do it. And so I closed it off and I walked away. And then about an hour later, I said to myself, you know what? Fucking hell, man. Like, if you can't fucking paint those models and make more money than you bought them for, you're cracking jokes. That is an investment. It's not a purchase. It's an investment, Deno. Invest in yourself, mate. Trust yourself. Giving myself a pump up. So I went back to the page and they were gone. So I'm fucking spewing. Because I saw them on the weekend and I was like, amazing! So I'm upset I didn't get them. So I'm just hoping someone out there will have purchased 2 and is going to look after Big Deno. Or someone will pay me to do a diorama with them. That'd be fine too. Oh, I've got an idea for this. Yeah, $800. For me, when I don't know what's happening with my job, it's like, it's a risk. I just realised that I have not looked at this model on the base to determine the correct viewing angle. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's this. So it was Lucas's Wood Elf army, Tui, with all the cool little wood dwarves, not wood elves, all the cool little dwarves. Alright, I just had an idea for this, which I think I'm going to implement. Yes, I'm going to implement this. So what colour do I want to highlight this with? I think We'll go with a pastel blue. They lasted about an hour, mate. I think. Mate, I don't know how I convinced myself that it was a bad idea. Here's some fun stuff. Let's show this shit off. They do, yes, Don, but this time it is a shit ton of models, and so he was like, no, can't do that. This is invisible ink. It is clear. So, yes, you can see once these bubbles go away that it lights up blue, which is very cool. So, however, it is invisible. So with this invisible ink, and I'm going to show you something cool on my palette. Correct, yeah, the casting. And it was initially limited to 100, and they leveled up to 100 and, to 150. This is cool. Check this out. Oh, you can't see that. Maybe if I zoom out a bit. Wrong way, Deno. So when that dries, it's like John Cena. Anyway, check this out. It's right there, but you can't see it. I'm going to highlight this cloak thing with invisible ink. And this colour. I'm glad someone got a thanks, Don. No, it's actually the cardboard, so it's much more porous, and so it's not working quite as well. So I have actually used it on. I've done a couple of test models and test things, which is cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint war paint, tattoos, hidden messages all over the diorama that you can only see with a UV light, and then this little torch that I have is going to be attached to the side of the diorama so people can pick it up and have a look around. And yeah, there's rust, there's all sorts of hidden things all over the diorama already. This is a part of my original plan. UV LEDs is something that I didn't consider, but on reflection, would have been cool to add. I don't have any UV LEDs. It is, what's the time now? 1 hour. Yeah, I'll be grabbing the diorama later on and putting all the models on it so we can have a bit of a review and see if there's anything that we need to work on and get a real sense of how it's looking. I'll be doing that at the end of the stream though, not because I'm trying to delay it and make everyone wait around, but because I have to change the camera because the diorama is so big. So we shall be waiting. Come here, bud. You're a good boy. Hey? Good boy. Let's add some blue. Oh wee oh, yo. Oh wee oh, yo. With the non-metallic metal, I will do a airbrush with a light color, a white or something similar, and then I'll usually do some colors from below, which will usually be, where is that chick? So this chick, for example, you can see there's a lot of colors added on there. Thanks, Don. Talk soon, mate. Appreciate your support of the stream and of the Crimson Brush. Alright, so now I'll mix a little bit of this blue with my invisible ink. And this is my highlight. And let's see how this looks. That's one thing I've done. I have done some painting where I didn't mix it with paint and I just painted it on, and I have a large LED light which I painted, which I put on so you could see, but we're just trying some new things, friends. Some of it works, some of it doesn't work. and we learn from that. Cause I knew you were Night Frog Jim. Trouble when you walked in. It's a shame on me now. Through to places I've never been. Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground. Oh, oh, trouble, trouble, trouble. Oh, oh, trouble, trouble. Pistachio. This colour's loose as. I'll have it. Get some pistachio up ya. No apologies, never see you cry. You found me, you found me. You're long gone, you met me, and I realized the joke is on me. Hey, 'cause I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Shame on me now, drew it to places I've never been. Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground. Oh, oh. Where is my blue? There it is. Signal blue. Boop. On your chuck sprays. In case you're new to the stream, that's the name of my airbrush. Chuck sprays. That's good stuff. On your chuck. Contrast paints, contrast paints. I wonder what would happen if I mix that invisible ink with a contrast paint. That has got some interesting ideas. Every time I do one of these crazy projects, I always find myself learning lots of new things about, you know, all sorts of stuff. Black. No apologies, I'll never see you cry. I was fortunate enough to get some from Timbo, but I did look it up online. You can buy it from a place called Glow Paint. That is correct, a glow paint. That's it. Yeah, I reckon. So I have a couple of places I like to go for inspiration. One of them, Spotlight, which is just like a craft store. And I just like to walk around aimlessly and just see what grabs my attention. And I'll show. I went there yesterday actually, and I found some really cool stuff for another project, which will be happening at some point in the not too distant future. But yeah, the other one's like Toy World. I just like to walk around Toy World. Spotlight's good, yep, and Bunnings is good. But yeah, Toy World's another one. Sometimes you just walk around and you'll just see like a little truck or a building or something, and you'll be like, yeah, I could use that. Yeah, the AK paints it great. Probably about 70% of my painting is done with them now, I would think. Um, and yes, being in Brisbane, paints take uh, very short amounts of time to dry. G'day there, Migback. What's happening, buddy? So, very soon I'll be grabbing my gigantic diorama and trying to get it all on stream, which will be fun. But I do want to start thinking about my next project because we're probably only a couple of days away from finishing this project. So to start thinking about what's next, I'd like to get enthusiastic for one of the events coming up, like the Guilds Inn or the Arc Open. This piece will of course make it to both of those events. Which is fun. Normally I don't get to take my pieces to many events these days. Still haven't figured out how I'm going to do that. But it's going to happen. Not sure, me back. It'd certainly be fucking easier. So much of the stuff I have to do is like the wrong scale, so I'm always having to imagine being able to pull stuff that's the right scale. How good would that be? I would definitely go dual. I would not throw myself into this. And there's very few people that I would recommend do this. The thing about doing dioramas like this, right? And it's probably early, but my intent. So I'm doing a jam session at the Guilds Inn, which is where I get to wank on about whatever topic I want. And so the topic that I'm probably going to do, although Tui's shattered my confidence a bit, is dioramas and their composition. But the thing about dioramas, you can have all of the best composition in the world. You can have all of the greatest ideas in the world. The one thing that will probably stop most people in their tracks is how much fucking work they are. Oh, it's absolutely fucking wild. Like, I don't know how long I've been doing this project for, but it'd be 4 weeks worth of work. And that's 4 weeks for me. The average punter is going to spend a lot more time than I do on a figure. Anyway, that's my plan for topic for the Guilds Inn jam session. You heard it here first. It's okay that people have different opinions on things, isn't it, Tui? It's good. It's what makes the world go round. I rewatched the judging stream. Well, I actually haven't rewatched the entirety of the judging stream, but um, I read some of the comments while it was going on. Not a lot of dissenting opinions, but there was a couple of people who were like, "Wow, I would not have selected any of these choices," and I thought that was interesting. It's good that people disagree on things. It's good that people say, "Oh, you gonna take me home tonight? Oh, down beside that red firelight. Oh, and you give it all you got. Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round." I was just a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad. I do not that my love to read. Long my money, such a naughty nanny. Big woman, come made a big man out of me. Now get this. Oh, I know. Won't you take me home tonight? Oh, down beside that red firelight. Oh, and you give me all you got. Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round. G'day, Havoc Pigeon. I've been playing with my bear across the wire, across the land. I've seen every blue-eyed bluesy on the way. Great tune. Went on an international wargaming event with some friends a few years ago, and that was our theme song of the week of the trip. Now get this. Alright. How are we going for time? Still only an hour 30. Can you guys believe I've painted this in an hour 30? What an absolute legend I am. I should stream this shit really, shouldn't I? People wouldn't believe me if I told them I did this in an hour. Look, I'll be honest. I haven't rewatched the judging. It's a lot of time investment. It's 5 hours, and probably I've wanted to more switch off than anything else from stuff. I mean, there's still stuff to be done. I've still got to edit all of the photos and add everyone's names and awards in there. So that'll happen, but it's just a time thing. So um, in terms of the event, yeah, I'm really pleased with uh, the event itself. I think the streams came out really good. I've had a lot of positive feedback around um, all that stuff. But the first thing I did when I got home was start making notes about what I wanted to do better, and there was a list of them. A laundry list of things that I think we can do better. One thing I was reflecting on about this piece, which I've probably been doing subconsciously. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Um, but I'm still really happy about it, is I've sort of got this very graffiti-esque style happening with my painting on it. It's not really been conscious, I don't think, but I've just been very much, probably even scratchier and rougher than normal, which I think looks really cool. I'm not sure if it's a competition winning approach to painting these models, but it's fun. Now get this. Oh, no. Won't you take me home tonight? Oh, beside the red firelight. Black back. Could be that. Yeah, it could be that. I mean, I've definitely changed the way I paint in the last few years, which is less smooth and refined and more um, expressive. Is probably a way I could describe it. That's quite wanky. That makes me seem like a real artist, which I'm definitely not. Ooh, what colour are we going to make this bowl? It's got to be bright magenta. Yeah. I preach this all the time on this stream, all over the place, to everyone I can. Don't focus on the results. Don't focus on the results of what you do. Focus on the behaviour. And for me, the behaviour is, am I enjoying painting little toy soldiers? Am I having a good time? Does this provide me joy and add to my life? And if the answer to that question is yes, then we have a more successful experience than winning an award or whatever it is. And that's not to say that going for an award and trying to win something is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. As long as that is a part of the journey that you are enjoying. Inevitably, there's a part in any project where you realise, you know what, this is actually fucking shit. I'm not enjoying this. I just want to stop. You'll always have that experience, and you've got to find a way to push through that for sure. Where's my Sigval Burgundy? I like this colour. Great colour. Wrote a great article on this. I'm not gonna rehash it. What I will say is that over the last 12, 18 months, I've enjoyed my painting probably more than any time ever in my life. So I've also probably painted less than any other time. I said this on the stream. This is one of my favourite quotes of all time. It's from Winston Churchill. Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. It's not about the results. Thanks, Pulcra. It's just about the experience and improving. It is a good quote, though. Well, Pulcra, if you watch this, you'll see that I've done it in the last hour and 40 minutes, which is a lot of fun. But I think it's time we do some crazy shit, friends. Let's go and get the whole piece that this chick sits on and have a fucking look at it, alright? I'm going to set the camera up first, because this is going to take a while. Here's my desk. Hopefully, that's big enough. Okay, so it's not big enough. Okay, so this is about all you're going to be able to see at the moment. I can't see fuck all because of the glare, but I can definitely see the. Okay, let's put some models on there, shall we? Let's see if I've done a good job. Good, she looks good. It's about to get more impressive, friends. Don't worry. I'm gonna even do this for you. I'll show you the back. I'm gonna plug in some batteries. All right. This chick sits down here. And this chick stands here. Where is your foothole? There it is. This little chick sits here. And this little chick stands here. This chick stands here. Alright, so I was discussing this with Bucks the other day. And we'll take the camera off. The real challenge with this piece, and there's a lot of them, is making sure that the models aren't not the focus. Right, I can't really see. Yeah, it looks okay. It's really hard, right, to get the models to be fully in focus, but yeah. Can I go even further back, maybe, so you can see the whole thing? Okay, so first of all, let's try this. So you can't really see much of what's happening there. Alright, I have an LED here. I have a flashing LED here. I have LEDs that are lighting up this sign, which actually works really well. I'm very happy about that. And I have an LED behind this. And this whole base is green and lighting up. So that's fun. But this LED is too bright. I need to diffuse that. That's too much. So I'll do that. It's way too bright. The second thing, which you can't really see, but behind these little bits of blue tack is more lights that are also lighting up. It's so good. Alright, turn that one off. No, this one. Okay. The next thing I'll show you is this. That says Rage Against the Dying of the Light in invisible ink on that poster. There's also a little thing that says War here. That lights up, so I should probably put some writing in that. There's little... I'm going to write a hidden message on this thing, which is cool. There's little splashes of fluorescent all over. And you can, maybe... No, you can't see these lights, but... They look sick. Alright, I'll show you. I'm just going to take this one off. Every so often that flashes. It's gonna be bad. Okay, I'll turn that one off. Great. So that's the whole fun aspect of it. But let's look at the painting. I made a very clear challenge to myself. I'm gonna take this off so everyone can see the diorama. I made a very clear challenge to myself, which is I wanted it to be a well-painted diorama without all of the tricks. Right, so every piece on here I want it to actually look good and be a well-painted piece. So I feel like this area looks quite good, it's quite finished. And when we turn the glowy green on, it's got these flickering LEDs. It's not really showing up all that well. There you go. It looks sick in real life. The flickering green LEDs look sick. Cool. Great. Alright, I'll stop turning my lights off now. Stop doing that today. So I feel like that piece works really well and looks like a well-painted piece. This feels a lot busier. Feels maybe too busy. So I probably need to add some shadows in the background to really darken up what's happening behind the girls, so the girls are much more of a focus. And I've got a final piece which I haven't really talked about yet, which I'll show off last of all. And then this section up here, we've got this girl here. She looks great. I'm happy with that. We've also got the girl on the bike here, and we've got the chick sitting on the sign there. So I will just show this because this is my favourite thing I did. Rage against the dying of the light. Resist. Okay. That's where we're at. So, it's a lot of work, and we're in the home stretch. Here's the final piece of the puzzle, which I'll just show off here. I have an LED screen that I have animated to scroll through pictures. One will be the Nico Galaxy logo, one will be the Big Dano face, And then I'm also going to have the Guilds In and or Arc Open logos. Yeah. And some ads and stuff. Big job, friends. Big job. But it's been a fun job. I'll say that much. Each of my girls is getting closer and closer. Oh, thanks. Chips. I have done. The plastic is currently in there. There is a clear plastic cover. I know. It's almost like I've done this before. How have I? Yeah, the AK paints are awesome, mate. I've used the fluorescent ones mostly for AK, and they've been probably my preference, actually. Let's get this out of the way. Whew. I better take the batteries out, actually. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I've also got little magnetized covers. They're not like super impressive, but they go over there and cover that bad boy, and they go here and cover this bad boy. So all of the areas of the piece are secure-ish. And just in case you're wondering, this is a scale. This is my head. So this is a real challenge with a project like this. Where's your focal points? How do you make sure that the things you want to be the focus are? And there's a lot of difficulty with that in a project of this scale. So you see here, okay, we can just. How many hours? When did I start it? Let's go have a look at my stream history. I don't know. I started the build on the 31st of December. And so it's about 3 weeks in, because I haven't really done anything in the last week. So it's about 3 weeks work. G'day, TJ Resin. Okay, just want to have a look at the girls. So I got a lot more. Oh, do I do some rusty bits? Yeah, rusty bits. Actually, I'll do this. Alright, I would love to say that I feel supremely confident every time I sit down and paint a model that I can crush some NMM. I can't, and I don't, and I have nothing but respect for those who can. So we all feel that way, mate, except the greats. That's a good call, Tui. Tokwab, hello mate. There's a variety of paints that I use. Most of the paints that you see on the stream are either Chimera, AK, or Vallejo. That's pretty much my main colours. But I also use quite a lot of contrast paints. Quite a lot actually, especially for a project like this. Hey, one thing I also really like talking about and suggesting people do more is what I'm doing right now, which is just painting over wet paint. Like, you don't have to wait for paint to dry. Sometimes it can be really interesting and can create some very unique effects just mixing wet in wet. Love John Cleese. My dad made me, well, made me is the wrong expression, but my dad and I watched Fawlty Towers together when I was growing up. He never really liked Monty Python that much. Thought it was a bit too silly. I did. He is not wrong. It is very silly, but I liked it as a young man and as an old man. I want to push the tram a lot. We're knights of the round table, we dance whenever we're able. Wow, it was. It was Monty Python. Well, friends, it feels good to be back streaming. It feels good to be back working on this project. Crimson Brush was definitely a good experience. One that I was proud to have led. We have many things that we would like to implement in the future, and I hope you will all be a part of that with us. I've used this stuff for this project, friends. This rusty effect paint. It's done some good stuff. What I might try now is something I haven't done. See how this works. Let's see if that looks any good. when it dries. There's lots of forms of contrast, friends. There's textural contrast, there's color contrast, there's scale contrast, value. One of the ones that I think is very important to play with on a diorama of large size is finish, contrast and finish. So we have some glossy parts and we have some very matte parts. Yeah, detail, texture, size, saturation. Hobbes was fond of his dram, and René Descartes was a drunken fart who was just as able. There's nothing Nietzsche couldn't teach about the raising of the wrist. Socrates himself was permanently pissed. Plato, they say, he could stick it away. So what I really like about this stuff that I'm doing right now, this is obviously quite, it dries, I would say, not overpoweringly orange. But then, boom, light it up, boom, yes, you light it up, I'll never stop. Make a grown man cry. It's interesting, you know, I'm not really sure that when I think of Cyberpunk, I think of all of this rust, but it's just been a really interesting addition to the colours. You know, rust is predominantly orange, and this is quite a secondary colour palette. There's a lot of secondary colours. So, yeah, it's just sort of found its way. And it was something I wanted to try, this gear. So why not try? Alrighty. Noodle Girl. I think we can move on from Noodle Girl for now. That leaves me with these two girls and my dog and my bike. Where's my bike at? There's my bike. This girl. She's so pretty. I'll be heading off shortly, friends. Hope you've had a fun time this morning watching Big Dino paint toy soldiers. As we draw closer and closer to the finish of this project, we'll start to talk about the next project. Might be a Lucas Pina, I think. Have a couple over there. G'day Insantium. Haha. Cool, man. Well, I just got one that I set up on my other desk yesterday called Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm about to finish this, go have some lunch, and then I'm going to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Try to play it. There's a lot happening. Look, Tui, on a project like this, you can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. You're Miley Cyrus, mate. And we can't stop, and we won't stop. Just see it's me who own the night. Oh. Are you on Trespass Odyssey? Crazy game. Crazy game. Yeah. I think I've played 6 campaigns of it. Six chapters. Yeah, Tui, it's important to not look at what you've got left. Because naturally when you stop and reflect on, hey, this is what I've done, what a great effort, you then go, and this is what I've got left, and you feel a little bit demoralised because you realise you've still got fucking 8 models left to paint. Well, in this instance, this is all I've got left, so I don't actually feel demoralised. I feel pretty excited. But it can be demoralising. Cool, let's do a quick model review and then I'm going to disappear out of your faces. Get your thoughts. So this is what we did today. This girl feels pretty good. Might tweak that bowl a bit. It's just a bit too pink maybe. But it does look good under this, which is fun. And we've got a little bit of that colour there. Yeah, it comes up quite well in real life. What I was planning on doing, in theory, was painting like a skull pattern in invisible ink. That'd be fun. Or just like some lines. Anyway, so 1, 2, I did her yesterday. She's pretty good. I've got a fair bit of stuff to go. I've got a denim jacket, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Haven't done any airbrushing on her yet, so I have to do that. Oh, KT. Fluorescent paints, my friend. Fluorescent paints. For example, fluorescent green. Just so you can see the real effect. I am back tomorrow, yes, tomorrow evening, painting some models. This girl, got a fair bit of work to do on her. But I really like this model, actually. It's quite cool. It's not UV reactive, it's just fluorescent paint that appears under a UV light. It is an alternative head, yes. I didn't want it to have the schoolgirl. We had a lot of schoolgirls in this. This one's probably the least progressed of the painted models. I did this on stream the other day and I didn't enjoy where it ended up. But I do like fluorescent hair. And also I don't like this one. Yeah, that's Bunny. It's supposed to be Bunny. She's the star of the show. She's right in the middle. Yeah, I don't really like how this one's come out so far. But it's okay. We'll get there. The shirt glows, which is fun. Did I already try that? I think I might have already tried the. I did. Look at that. I put lines on her. Ah. Smiley face on her. See, that is cool. That's the sort of stuff I want to do. Hidden all over the thing. Hidden messages. It's a party, we can do what we want. See you, Tui. I love you, mate. As I'm about to head off too, buddy. So, last chick. Shiny bra and shiny boots. All right, friends. Hope you've had a good time. We'll go see if we can find someone to raid, maybe. Who can we raid? Jimmy the Brush, Warhammer. Let's go raid Jimmy the Brush. I'm sure he's a top bloke. Don't know the guy from the bar soap. But I'm back tomorrow night, painting more on this little thing and doing a review of the Crimson Brush with Buxo. Have a good one. Big Dunno.